Hey, what's up, fam? One of the things that I've said a lot whenever I talk about Ruby. I don't know how many I've said it in the videos, but I've been saying it for a lot of years that with Ruby, their serious story and tone usually is pretty good, and then when they try and do too much comedy, I think it hurts the story. But even with a little bit of jokes in this episode, they all seem pretty nice. So another solid episode. This kind of also cements in that this volume might just be the best one in the series so far, and I think it's going to be, as long as it keeps up this high quality pace that it's at. But anyway, to the episode itself, the woman who runs this group of informants, and I'm guessing assassins as well, ends up kind of revealing that she knows who Cinder is. And I gotta say, if I was Cinder the first time that they ran into each other and she gave Cinder that threat, but because she didn't know who Cinder was, she could have just thought she was a random person. Then you let that go. But given Cinder, like the way that Cinder is, and the fact that this woman knows who she is, and yet she's still gonna talk to her like that, I would before even leaving, from her perspective, I would just burn the whole place down. Like we already know that nobody in that building is gonna be as powerful as Cinder. She's just destroy him. But they had someone who would prolong it, but still should just turn around and burn that lady down and her whole building. Is Neo showing up after 3 years, and it made me happy because return of best best pairing in RWBY. One of the only ones I think is legit, and not just people doing weird lesbian and gay pairings for the sake of hentai. Really, one that I think is legit, and that was Neo and Torchwick. And you see her wearing his hat. She seems pretty salty about him dying, allegedly. Still has a chance he could come back. I mean, I doubt it, but I mean, he's never was shown dead, just eaten by a monster he could have gotten at him. But anyway, a really good fight between them, and a good moment of Cinder being like, "Hey, how about you stop trying to attack me, and we both go after Ruby since she's wronged us both, and we should both go after her. So let's go fuck her up." And that's gonna be hopefully a good team up with them. I'm hoping at some point, if Neo talks, it's regarding that. As out of everyone, like I said, out of everyone in this series, it actually seemed like Neo and Torchic were a thing. And otherwise, why would she be this upset uh, about about her him dying and going after somebody that she knows is way stronger than her, but she was willing to do it anyway? You know, I hope that things go well. Maybe he's still alive and we can see a nice reunion between them. That's one of the only ones that I'm like I hope actually happens. Other than that, just let everything continue down the dark path. Once we get back to Ruby's team, they're going into these houses. They all seem abandoned, and see these like big group pictures of all the people in this town. But when they're kind of like talking around a fire, they see that when they go to search and try and find out more, Weiss discovers, some dead bodies in one of the rooms. And Crow, when he goes out and looks around more, he sees that every single building has these same dead bodies. So something happened to these people that they just died in their sleep, because it doesn't seem like they were attacked. It doesn't seem like the elements got them. You find out later when they're looking for food that there is food, so they didn't starve. And so something had to have done something to him, something spooky, something real spooky that looks like we're gonna find out soon. We also got some nice character between Blake and Yang when they're trying to look for a vehicle or some kind. Yang looks out a window, has a little flash image of Adam, and she has a really dumb question. And she's like, "Do you think Adam's still out there?" I'm like, "Why do you think he's not out there? Do you think he's dead? Do you think that he got like on his way out, he somehow ran into a fiery explosion?" I thought that question was kind of dumb of Yang. Like, I think she just worded it wrong. Like, do you think that maybe like do you think Adam's still coming after you or something? Like, or, I don't know, something like that. But like, do you think he's still out there? Of course he's still out there. Don't be goofy. But it followed up with a really good moment when Blake was trying to console her, be like, if Adam comes back, we can fight him. I'll protect you. And just Yang thinking back. You don't even need an explanation of like her thinking back the first time when Blake just left. Probably pissed her off very very quietly, very subtly. They'll probably They'll probably address that later in this volume because it's still something that it should be resolved, but it's nice that they're taking their time with it and it's not feeling as rushed, which I think will be a pretty good moment. We also get Weiss and Ruby having their own kind of character struggles of Weiss wanting to seemingly give up because she's like, there's no way we could kill Salem. Like, what are we supposed to do? I don't know. I think they should just like lock her up or something. Build like a super prison for one person once they defeat her or something. I don't know. But Ruby doesn't want to give up. She still wants to keep going. They find this kind of a closet with what they say is a wine cellar, but it's like chained up, and it's just like real spooky in this whole town of the dead and harsh frost winters and the mysterious dead people really. And then you see this chained up uh, basement kind of doors. Like, no, that's probably gonna end up being some like grim that I don't know. It's gonna be like a necromancer grim and getting some crazy Walking Dead vibes out of that thing. But as I said, it's pretty spooky in this whole tone they're doing. I didn't think they were gonna be doing much of a spooky theme. The only thing I really get any spooky preview is in that part in the opening. I actually really like is when you see all those hands come out of that like sewage opening and Ruby's like fighting him. I just really like that visual of you see this big stone kind of opening to like a sewer or some underground passageway, and then all these big creepily skinny and flexible grim hands come out after. I think that's just a really cool visual. It makes me think kind of like if it like Pennywise like showed up in RWBY. That was pretty cool. I like that. I really enjoyed that part of the opening, but I'm wondering where it's going to tie into this episode, or if it's going to be later in the volume. Another solid, so kind of wrap this up. Another really solid episode. I like the team up of Cinder and Neo. I like that Neo is clearly harboring some very very like built up like anger over the loss of Torchix. We've been wondering where she's been, and it speaks a little bit for her character. Maybe the shippers that ship them can see that. I always thought this one was one of the legit ones, and not just the ones that people try and force. So maybe they'll be happy with this, and some spooky stuff between all the people, and some struggles between characters. Like even they get a point where they address not to tell Crow about that bar that Ruby and Weiss found because they didn't want to like trigger off Crow's like alcoholism just for him to like drink himself into a coma. Though you think that with the way that they're stuck there and how it's gonna be so shitty and boring, they would come back to those alcohol and be like, all right guys, we're gonna drink and try and get through this like as the best we can. I feel like that'd be one of the things you would do, and especially when you already know. I mean, who is it? I know Yang and Crow both drink. The old lady probably drinks. You probably get some funny parts out of that, but I don't know. I don't think they're gonna because even though it's a fictional world, they're still underage. I don't know. Probably would send a bad message. It's probably why they don't have Yang drink anymore. I don't know, but that's it for this episode. Pretty solid, so check it out. I think you have to wait till next week if you want to watch it on YouTube for free. I would suggest go and paying Rooster Teeth a couple bucks to watch it on their website, support the series. As long as if they're getting more money, then they can up the quality and keep it really nice like this. But otherwise, that's mostly it for here. Tell me what you think in the comments below of what you're getting out of this. If you've seen the episode, what you thought about it, what you've been thinking about this volume in general, and thumbs up the video. Subscribe if you enjoy this content and you want to see more. I've got more RWBY stuff. I actually did the review on the RWBY manga because there's a one that just came out, Weekly Shonen Jump. I'm gonna drop that later today. So yeah, subscribe if you wanna see that. But otherwise, appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and thank you very much for listening.